I will talk about small mammals. Why they are important? When I will give some theoretical framework, I will talk a little bit about post-Soviet transition and mammals, give facts about my country. I am sure not many of you know Lithuania, and then present results and some conclusions. So, who are these small mammals? In fact, definitions are varying. Some investigators say that small mammals are up to 5 kilograms of body mass, but at this research, we refer to small mammals which could be trapped by mice traps or could be found in all pellets. So these are mice, voles, shrews, dormice, but not moles, because moles live underground and we didn't trap them. These guys are very important for agriculture because of the two reasons. One of them, they are main pests or one of the main pests. The second, they are still a part of biological diversity, delivering very important ecosystem services. Long-term changes in small mammal communities are important because we have a good potential to provide insights into the dynamics of ecosystems and their residents. Because, as I said, they are a very important part of the ecosystem. Small mammals can help to understand impacts of factors such as climate change, habitat alteration, and human activities, of course, including agriculture. Long-term observations are needed to create effective conservation strategies and predict ecological responses, not only from small mammals, but from mammals in general. And of course, these data are available for decision-making at biodiversity management and environmental sustainability. Changes in small mammal communities can be influenced by climate change, because climate change changes habitat suitability, food availability, and reproductive cycles of not only small mammals, but of wildlife. Second factor is natural succession and resource availability. It's a classic of ecology, and I will not stop here, but habitat loss and fragmentation caused by urbanization, deforestation, land use changes. These two factors are very important for small mammals. Anthropogenic factors like agriculture, industrial development, tracking, etc. are, of course, again important. Pollution, including herbicides, pesticides, and fertilizers, disease outbreaks, and predator-prey interaction and invasive species of other animals. In fact, I know very well literature on scientific investigations of small mammals, and none of the existing publications can cover more than two factors simultaneously. So it's very, very important, but you need a lot of data to have multifactorial evaluation. Post-Soviet changes are well studied in other mammals. It was a paper of Bragina and many co-authors, including me. We analyzed wildlife population dynamics in Eastern Europe, countries which had a post-socialist reform. These changes were not of small mammals, but of ungulates like roe deer, red deer, moose, wild boar, and of carnivores like brown bear, gray wolf, lynx, and other countries. What was shown? These countries which had very fast post-socialist reforms, had the increase of populations of ungulates and carnivores. So we have no idea if this is related to small mammals, but this is a good example how economic and political changes in the country can have influence on mammals. So a little bit about Lithuania. It's a small country. As I used to say, it's about nearly like Beijing in China, about 65 square kilometers. We have transitional climate, continental to maritime. Our forest cover is 33% and increasing. Agricultural land is half of the land, and in the map you see Corina land cover types. So it's clearly seen that agricultural land is one of the main land types. In small mammal fauna is not very wide comparing to countries to the south. We have only 22 species of small mammals, and 3 of these species, Mediterranean water-shrew, kidney field mouse, and sibling wall, were identified only after year 2000. So there is a short introduction to my country and its agriculture. We use 2 main methods of investigation into small mammals. One was tracking, mainly snap traps, shown here below. Can you see my pointer, by the way? Perhaps not. And second was the old pellet analysis, which gives, you see a lot of bones from which we can identify small mammal species. Another methods such as camera tracking were not used, and these 2 methods, snap tracking and old pellet analysis, have some advantages and disadvantages. First of all, we can quantify sampling effort, but on the second, we have relative abundances only, not a real one. So our sample from 1975 to 2022 covers all country. As shown on the small maps, in different periods, there was different schemes of sampling, but still, I will present some 4 most representative samplings taken 6 to 10 or 11 years, or even 13 years, as in case of food and needles, and analyze these samples separately. So overall, our material is from very long time. We executed nearly 500,000 trap days, have 52 batches of pellets, identified 20 of 22 species, and have about 65,000 individuals. So it's over 7 tons. Illustration is from Australia, from house mouse plague, but 7 tons will be some kind of this, I think. On the right, you see that main species present in the country is bank wall, yellow-necked mouse, strip-filled mouse, and common shrew. Rodent species can make harm to agriculture and forestry. Shrews are beneficial. So, which were main long-term changes in most numerous species? First of all, I will start from the right. First of all, bank wall. By gray color here, common shrew by red color, yellow-necked mouse by brown color, and striped field mouse by light brown color. And you see that in decades, starting from 70s and ending now, we were very well expected changes, like of few species like bank wall, omnivorous species, its proportion in small mammal community decreased twice, from 63% to 26% in year 2011 to 2020. Common shrew also decreased, but not so strong. About increasing of proportions, first of all, yellow-necked mouse proportion increased from 5 to 25%, that's 5 times. And striped field mouse increase was very important, from about 1% in 1975 to about 20% in the whole community in 2020s. While proportion of other species like harvest mouse, numbers and proportions remain stable across these time periods, because it's species which comprises only 1.14% of all small mammals trapped, and less than 1% in all pellets, but this proportion didn't change. It's a small mice which make aerial nests in tall vegetation. But we find several good factors explaining how this changing happened. First of all, human-induced habitat transformation has negative impact. As you see here in the top right corner, after meadow transformation to a pasture, proportion of Micronus minutus, which is harvest mouse, decreased. Secondly, competition with other small mammals is important. As in floodplain habitats, harvest mouse becomes competitive due to high flooding. At the high flood, all small mammals are drowned by the water, but Micronus minutus, as a species who is climbing, survives. And after flood goes off, it is the first species which occupies the land, and so relative abundance and share in the small mammal community is increasing. It's data, graph shows data from natural flooded meadow, which converted in 13 years. It was first it was natural meadow until 2016, when it was conversion period of 3 years, and 2020 it was for cattle pasture. You may see that in 2008, harvest mouse was a dominant species. When in the years of high flood, its proportion was higher, and in years of low flood, harvest mouse could be absent, and or proportion is smaller, and after conversion of natural meadow to cattle pasture, harvest mouse proportion is very small. There were some changes also in species which are not numerous, but their proportion is really low in the country. Perch mouse, Cycista betulina, decreased, but it is considered rare in the country, which one is birch mouth. It's rare in the country, and being in national rate data book till the last year, water wall was considered the national rate data book but not included. It's also decreased. And black rat got nearly extinct, and it was displaced by the brown rat in the most parts of the country. If you look at the maps of current distribution of these three species, so birch mouse is scattered in all the country. Black rat is absent in several regions, like south, east, and northwest ones. And water wall is present, but its numbers are very low. Now we can talk about functional groups of small mammals. They are herbivores, mainly voles: common vole, field vole, root vole, sibling vole, and water vole. They are granivores. Striped mouse, striped field mouse, pygmy field mouse, yellow-necked mouse, harvest mouse. Most possibly birch and wood mice, but we have no data on their diet. Omnivores like bank vole, house mouse, two species of rat and hazel dormouse, but possibly birch and wood mouse and also harvest mouse. And insectivores, which are only shrew. Given the favorable status hypothesis, according to Jamie Fox, published in Evolutionary Ecology, it is likely that we can have one more insectivoral species exist in the country. It could be bipolar through procedural leucotome, but it's still not found. So differences in group proportions changed across decades. Omnivores, bank vole as a main reason, sharply decreased from about 70% in 17 to about 30% in 20s. Proportion of insectivores also decreased, but only in the last period. Proportion of herbivore species is being stable across these decades, and proportion of granivores its yellow color sharply increased in the last time. We can have several possible explanations to small mammal community changes. First is land use. Before 1990s and after 1990s, illustration on the right is not before 1990s, it was much earlier, before 50s. But after 90s, this large-scale Soviet colchoz system was changed by land privatization. And land fragmenting, wild crop rotations gave a lot of changes, and abandoned land was present also for a long time. So agriculture, forestry, and urbanizations are common factors which may explain changes in small mammals as a community, but we still lack a lot of data to multifactorial analysis. Now, climate change. In the literature, there are a lot of papers that climate change is related to changes in small mammals. So in the country, we have about 2.2 degrees Celsius increase of mean temperature. We have some decrease of precipitation, and we have quite strong changes in snow cover season start and length. There could be other ecological factors, pathogens and predators, and also can be results can be influenced by method. So if we compare two methods, tracking and pellet analysis, we see that pellets are much more effective to get number of species. And pellet analysis didn't show any changes in small mammal diversity across decades. But if you look at upper right corner, snap tracking, having, as I said, 500,000 of snap tracks already performed, show that after post-Soviet period, diversity in small mammal community increased. We can check middle to forest habitat change, which showed that bank wall advancing from middle to forest, bank wall with gray color on the right, numbers and proportions well increased. Herbivores, gray walls decreased, and granivores also decreased. So afforestation taking part of the agricultural land and abandoned meadows can make a really nice change. So when we check habitat preferences in small mammals, we can say that bank wall is dominating in forest and wetland. Strip field mouse now is dominating in meadows, agro landscape, and agro landscape. And yellow-necked mouse is dominating along with the common wall. It's dominating the agro landscape, common wall, and common wall, light green and dark brown is yellow-necked mouse, and commensal habitats, including children. Agro landscapes are characterized by least number of small mammal species inhabiting these landscapes. All other main landscape habitat classes like commensal habitats, wetlands, meadows, and forests have more small mammals identified. But the diversity of small mammal species in agro landscape is about the same like in wetlands, commensal habitats, and meadows. Diversity in forest habitats is less, and it depends on domination of the bank wall. So now, importance of the latitude. There are several examples across the world from northwest of Canada, Finnish Lapland, Kazakhstan, Australia, Tanzania, central Germany. We see that in all this on the left side, on these graphs, there are changes in densities of the common wall. Common wall is the main pest in the middle latitudes, main pest of agricultural land. And you may see that depending on the latitude, the fluctuations may happen or may not happen, and they are not synchronized across the world. And in the right part, we can see that changes in abundance of various species can be very different in nearly the same territory. This is China, and they can be connected to each other or not. So we need to have data from the territory we are speaking about. We cannot rely only on literature. So main conclusions are that we have reached the conclusion that notable shift in the structure of small mammal community it took place after 90s. 90s, as I say, it was start of the post-Soviet era in our country. This period after 90s was marked by increased diversity and decreased dominance in small mammal community. Following 90s, decline of omnivorous and insectivorous species was counterbalanced by a rise of granivorous and herbivores. These observed changes can be linked to alterations in land use and the influence of human activities, mainly agriculture and forestry in the post-Soviet phase. We cannot dismiss climate change, but it is important to know that potential effects of climate change should be substantiated at the species level, first of all. Several factors cannot be excluded when assessing changes in small mammal communities. We need long-term trends first as 1-2 year view only a snapshot. This is the take-home method. Changes in habitat composition and connections with habitat preferences of species should be in place, and we can talk about climate changes only in the case if we have facts that is related to certain species biology. One paper is already published, and in the diversity you can follow these topics, and as it is a special issue related to advances in conservation of terrestrial small mammals. So there is all my presentation, and I thank you for your attention.